Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Are we doing this thing?
Yeah. Sorry, I
Alright.
gave a thumbs up, and I guess you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you shit. How you feeling, man? You okay? You
Yeah,
just bumped the shit out of your hand elbow thing.
that really hurt.
I wanted to
Um,
transition early to it, but
I know. I thought you would, to be honest. It it definitely hurt. Um, I was trying to fix the camera up here because I have a dual PC setup, right? So
right.
I moved it from my second PC because I don't keep it on this PC to this one. So I had to move it over, but then the cable's tight. So to move it down to get it, smashed my funny bone off of this, and my hand's still tingling.
Smooth. I also love how like in your room you can see the clear definition of like where the shadow cuts for the lighting. So you've got like a solid like line of dark above, like right where your head is. If you look straight above that,
Oh,
it's
is
just
that
like
the?
it's slightly darker above everything.
Are you sure that's not just Discord?
It might just be Discord. I don't
I think
know.
that's Discord. Yeah, I
Okay.
think.
I was
Yeah,
like,
because
how the fuck?
yeah,
Oh,
that's for sure. Can you imagine? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's Discord.
No, heck in Discord.
Heck in
But
Discord.
shit, dude, what's new? Obviously the hair. Tell us about
Yeah,
your experience. Obviously you had a little bit of delay getting here, but
I turned. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. So I turned into Eminem for a little bit. So I've been testing. So I actually had my hair dyed before for a while now, but it was just like this front half because they cut the back too short. They couldn't get it. So what they did this time, I went to a different place, and basically they bleached everything, including the sides. But it's actually you can't even tell anymore. But they bleached the sides too. And when it's bleached, my hair, because it's brown, naturally just looks like a golden color, basically Eminem early 2000s.
right.
So when they added a color to it after, it didn't do anything. It just stayed that color. So I'm like, I honestly just don't want to look like Eminem or anything from that time era, to be honest. And so I got them to redo it. So they put the silver in. They added some. You can't really see it on this, but they added like a bit of blue green to make the color shine. In person, you can tell a lot better. But I like because it darkened up the sides a bit and gave the silver gray fox approach. A lot of people say I look too young. They say I look like way younger than I actually am.
It's not a bad thing though.
No, it's true. I'm almost hitting 30, so I'm like, all right, I gotta somehow look mature because I definitely don't look mature once I open my mouth. So I gotta have something to compensate for that.
I don't know if that's ever gonna change, man. Like just who you are as a person. I don't think mature is the word that comes to mind, and that's not
Yo,
an insulting thing. It's just you have a very carefree, laid back kind of attitude about everything. Um, Unless you're like super passionate about it, then you get into this like zen state of like, hey, I'm gonna talk about this shit,
so
whether you want
it's
to or not.
it's ADHD. So a lot of people are like, oh, people with ADHD can't focus. No, there's a thing called hyper focusing. There's a thing where I will shut out absolutely everything else in the universe um, if I'm talking about the thing that I actually care about. And it just everything else is just lost. Everything else is just gone at that point. Um, but if it's something that I'm like kind of half into, yeah, I'll forget what I'm saying mid sentence and move on. That's when like the ADHD that people think of kicks in.
So now that you've, I guess, had time to put that hyper focus into some like efforts, I know that one of the main things that we're going to talk about is like you, over the last, I guess, couple of weeks now, maybe month, you've taken a little bit more of a step back from squad to focus on personal things, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of is a multitude of stuff. So part of that goes in with streaming, which unfortunately internet's causing some issues right now, but the big focus has been like Minecraft RP, like a lot
Yo,
of Minecraft RP.
okay. So I sometimes find myself in my life doing things that I never would have ever thought of doing before. Like they all seem to come naturally though. So the first thing, um, actually for me, if I go way back, the first thing for me was selling T-shirts. I used to do a bunch of merch. So this old org I had, it was just local, like to Ontario, Canada. Like I used to run a bunch of Smash Brothers events,
Right.
and to help compensate stuff, as I actually um, it was a local artist made a cool design, and I'm like, okay, I want to put that on a shirt so people can like wear it, rep it, right? So I got into learning how shirts were made, through trial and error, and started look, okay, what's good quality, what's bad quality, how is this kind of cotton, from ring spun to standard cotton to polyester, what's like the differences in feels, and so I started doing a bunch of t-shirt like a merch stuff, and I'm like, that's something I never would have thought of, and I started knowing the ins and outs of that. And then after that, commentating would have been being on camera talent was another thing I never like. I did YouTube and stuff, of course, but like
Oh,
I have
I am well aware of your old YouTube channel.
I have full control over the YouTube though. Like I have full
Right.
control over when it starts, when it stops, what it's being cut as, so I can make jokes work by cutting them, but those jokes won't translate to a live environment. So learning how to work in like a broadcast environment was so different, but like I never would have thought I'd be doing that. So um, jumping into that was something that was another hyper focus thing. I just got so passionate about commentating that I just did it, and eventually with you during VVV, like so much that I'm like, I'm into this. And then I learned so much about it, and now that's my career. So the next thing that happened was Minecraft. I'm like, I was playing. It was actually with Tesla, my girlfriend. We're like, we don't want to do anything tonight. We just want to play a game, but something adventurous, something that we can just not care about. And for some reason, Minecraft popped in my head. I'm like, Minecraft, like I haven't played that in forever. Let's play some Minecraft. So we started messing around in it, and then lo and behold, my brain started going again of thinking of things, because at one point I'm like, I don't want to mine, I just want to build stuff. Can I trade you this and this, or I'll build you a room if you go mine this stuff to someone? I think Gabri was in there as well.
Yeah.
So we're all like, I'm like, I wonder if we could each have jobs in this. And then I'm like, I wonder how we could pay. What's a good thing? Gold. I wonder if we could have a full self-sustaining economy. So I started.
It's a big jump from.
Yeah.
Hey, if you do this, can I do this? Hey, let's make a full fucking economy. Okay.
Yeah. So I was curious. I'm like, can we do this full out, like an economy in this? Like I've seen RPGs try it before, and some of them do it all right. But I'm like, can we have a full economy on this, just by us doing our things? So I started laying out rules. I made this spreadsheet, like this crazy spreadsheet, trying to like figure. Actually, I can actually probably show you. Let me do that right now. I made this crazy spreadsheet about just there it is. Just with different roles and different like descriptions of the roles. I originally had like 5, then I had to add more, then I split some, like the rancher crop farmer, to like make sure that everyone had something to do all the time, but everyone relied on each other, and this crazy balancing. All of a sudden my mind went hyper focus, and I spent in 3 to 4 days, I spent about 20 plus hours on this document right here, just trying to get everything balanced, right? And then the next thing was testing it. So then, we got a ton of people, look at everyone's backstories and stuff, like it's insane. Right. So it was super like hyper focusy moment for ADHD to just dive in and say this. But I also wanted to do the RP element because I'd never done it. Right. We did improv during RLCS, and we learned a lot there. I'm like,
we better bring that back next season, dude.
I loved it. It's so fun.
So much fun.
It's taught me so many things. And
not even like taught us things, but just showed that the things we developed over the years was actually the right thing. Like there's so many techniques and stuff that we've learned about that you and I have had through self-discovery and stuff, because we never really had that kind of learning phase, in the sense of this is like no one taught us, right? Like no one like Golden Boy got us to be comfortable with each other, but he wasn't like specifically, these are the things, these are the techniques, these are the specifics of what you should be trying to accomplish, and this is why. So we developed those kind of mechanics ourselves, but it was nice to have someone who is, a real improv comic who has been on SNL or whatever, actually be like, this is why you're doing it, this is the skills that you'll develop from it, and this is how it'll affect you on broadcast. And it's like, shit, we've already been doing that stuff, but now I know specifically what it is, what it's called, how to improve upon it. So
I think the thing that like really helped me was like the confirmation, because like as you said, there are things we'd already done, like when it came to certain pass offs, or always that whole yes and thing, agreeing. It was just like, or like understanding that nothing's wrong, go out there and do it, or put yourself in the moment, don't pre-plan it. All those things I had learned by being thrown into the fire. But yeah, having someone to like confirm it, and now it's something I can actually address. Like it's written down in a book now in my head. Like these are the rules for this. Obviously, you don't have to follow them entirely, but these are the rules. Helps me go moment to moment because it's been confirmed that is the right thing to do. So yeah, like the improv was so sick, but then like I'd never put it on a scale like this where like we would make characters in the improv and we would just like we next 5 minutes that character's done though because we're moving on to the next thing. So like it was an extended time, so I wanted to see if I could make like a character that I could actually abide by for a long time. You do the same thing with D&D,
Right.
but it's like actually
Playing
putting
tonight, by
yourself
the
in
way, if you guys want to check it out. Just saying.
there you go. So it was cool to finally see if I could put myself into it. And it's been interesting because even myself, it's been hard to make sure I'm following what that character would do rather than, being the master of the server, the guy that made, the rules for the server and telling people to abide by it. There are things that I'm letting slide in role play, even though I wouldn't in person because it goes against the rules, but I'm letting it happen in game because my character doesn't know that. So I just have to be my character. So it was really interesting to put myself in, and that's hence the role play. Now, with the Minecraft thing, it's hard to get everyone online all the time because I made all the jobs so reliant on each other to make full economy.
Right. I mean, that won't happen until you have a populated enough server to where there's multiple roles of each and.
Exactly. So the thing is, like, we're hitting like anywhere between, on average, 3 to 10 people online at a time when it's on, right? So I'm thinking, maybe we cut the server down to only be online at certain times to, make people want to play during those times or whatever. But we're working it out. But it was a cool learning process. And the one thing I always, with all these new things I dived into, with everything, and this is something that has been such an important life lesson that everyone should take away from this, is failure is absolutely not. You always hear it. You have to fail to succeed, but failure is absolutely necessary to success. Without failure, you're not seeing every situation. If you're only seeing success, that means the next time a failed opportunity or what comes along your way, along your path, you're going to deal with it so badly because you've never had to deal with failure before. So what I try to do is I put myself in situations that are uncomfortable, situations that I know will fail, with the intent to learn. I know that first week of that Minecraft server wasn't going to work perfectly, 100%. And I know that there were going to be issues with it. And I'm going to have to change stuff even drastically. Maybe the whole thing doesn't even work and I just make a Minecraft server. Who knows, right? But I had to go in with that mentality that it will fail and I need to learn from that. So if you can do that, you learn a lot quicker. To me, that's like the core of a competitive mentality.
It goes multiple ways, right? So for me, we're now on episode 21 of our D&D campaign. And I've been technically playing the same character the entire time. There was a side situation that happened. He died. I came back to life. It's weird. But, making logical decisions versus decisions that my character would make are very difficult because there are life-changing things in the game. Like, this is a character that I've now spent 6 months with, and if he dies, it's a huge blow. But that's still things that you have to make decision-wise that wouldn't be in character if I did. So balancing that is always going to be something. And then the talking of things about failure, I mean, you're 100%. I mean, the ability to see things from a different perspective, both on the positive and negative, is super important. I mean, you talked about like a month ago or maybe a couple weeks ago when we were talking about how these guys in television have been doing the same thing over and over and over again, and about how this is why we're going to continue to do this way because it's always worked. But they don't realize that they need to change with the times because times are adapting. Esports and the internet culture and stuff is why, live television just isn't a thing. People either watch for their sports that have been instilled in their culture for, hundreds of years, or they don't. Because our generation has basically said, fuck you to TV and cable subscription. It's because we just don't need it. There's no point. So learning to adapt is going to come with that success failure. And like that guy I just mentioned, until he has that failure, he's not going to look at other perspectives because he doesn't want to change. But that's the reason why you need to learn to stay up to date or to adapt or to, just quote, stay with the times because shit is ever evolving. And it applies to things as simple as Minecraft to as much as being a CEO of a company.
It's literally everything. Everything you do can be approached with the mentality of, I'm going to fail on purpose. That's how you discover new things. That's how you discover things in even in video. Let's relate it to video games since we're gamers. In video games, Fail on purpose. Do something so absurdly dumb in a match. Yeah, who cares if it's a right? You're playing with, you got a bunch of good teammates. Maybe the thing you want to test is, can I go, in a MOBA, can I go this item build right now with this character during this stage of the match with these kind of teammates on my team? Do it. And if it works, you just discovered something new that maybe someone has never done before. If it fails, now you know not to do that. Or
Right.
you need a different comp to do that, right? But you're not going to know that without someone doing it. And if you're the first to do it, you're going to be the first to be the best at it. Someone may pass you later, but at least you're going to have the lead for a bit. So doing those things is why I have so much random knowledge on different areas in life, because I'll hyper focus in, I'll go ham on something, and I fail a lot, but people only see the success at the end of it, right? So
Right. I mean, people think that the brawl was just an overnight thing, and it's like
that took time.
the amount of trial and error and like every little minute thing, like running show matches, engaging interest, and talking to the pros, like that stuff didn't come overnight. And like even still now, there's a ton of things that were changing. Like the first week was super raw, and it's like
Yeah.
so is every other week, but it's slowly getting refined to the point to where when we do open it up in phase 2, which is probably going to happen right after beneath the or beyond the summit, where open qualifiers happen and literally anybody can play in it. You get your chance to play against pros and shit. So it's like all these things that we're doing have intention to figure out what it will and will not work. And I guarantee you, the first time we do it with open qualifiers, it's going to be a shit show. It's going to be so
yeah,
bad.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even that is like there's short term and long term. You look at short term of like say RLCS season 7. It took us some time. It took me specifically time to get into that role as a host, but then I eventually started to feel it, and then by Worlds I was feeling it. It takes time to get there, but you build, right? You put yourself through. To me, that was one of the scariest. Actually, stage host was the scariest, but even desk hosting was pretty intimidating. But I did that because I wanted to challenge myself. I'm like, if I fail, then I fail, but at least I did it, and I know that where my limits are, right? But that's a short term thing. Look at the long scale. Look at season 1, how much better it's gotten for RLCS now. Yeah, right. I will never look back because it was so bad.
Anything preseason 4, I'm just like, yeah, that happened. I just it's so bad.
But it's the same with the brawl too, right? You've now learned this way, but the second you introduce a new element into it and a new variable, you gotta expect things are gonna go out the window, and that's with absolutely anything in life. So if you're intimidated because of trying something new because of that initial failure, then you're doing it absolutely wrong. You have to know that you're going to fail. And if you succeed, wow, cool, you made a right guess at the beginning there. But with anything in life, just get out there and just do it. If you fail, you fail. That's winning, because now you know what doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary. You got to push yourself out of your comfort zone. I made a very strong decision probably when I was like just out of high school into like my first or second year of college, was that I was going to stop holding myself back due to financial and other things. Like if there's an opportunity to create a memory, I'm going to do it. Money, like as morbid as it is, it could all be over tomorrow. It could be, you never know what's going to happen. So, my friends and I, like, I've always been super conservative with my money, but it's a lot of life changes have happened because of that mentality, the ability to say, yes, I'm going to go skiing. Yes, I'm going to do this. I don't care if I'm tired or if I'm exhausted or whatever. I'm just going to do it because I don't want that fear of missing out. I don't want what did I miss out on if I would have just said yes. I'm sitting at home doing nothing. I might as well go do it. And the same thing applies to like casting. Like my life now 4 years later, all because I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm quitting my job. I'm going to fly across the country and I'm going to give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out, so what? Who cares if it doesn't work out? At least I can say I tried and I had that experience and I have those memories, and, now we're 3.5 years in and we're still doing it. And it's at the point where it's like, bigger and better every single time. You never know, right? You just never know.
If you said no, your life would be so different.
Yeah, it's been a weird one. Speaking of CJ, Johnny Boy, Chrome, and Jazza did replay analysis of season 2 RLCS final, and it was great. Yeah, nobody wants to hear that shit. It was bad. And
we all know everything was bad. The gameplay, the commentary.
Commentary was dog shit. My mic had so much gain on it, so it just fucking peaked the whole fucking time. It was so bad. That was awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I mentioned too, coming up for you, you got some
Yeah.
Summit.
Yeah.
Excited? It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be sick. And this is why I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in, figure out this whole hair thing because I feel like this is one of the few okay ones that it'll work
Yeah.
on because it's gonna be so relaxed. Like it's gonna be so chill. Obviously,
What's your
I want.
like? Do you have any expectations before you go in? Like any things that you're expecting to happen, or things that you hope happen? Any like?
Oh yeah, I'm expecting to win Mafia every time I play.
Okay.
um, but I think the coolest thing about this is going to be is an extra like building whatever what do you want to call it, team building exercise for all the like the community. The fact that we're all like going to be chilling and hanging, to me that's the most important part of the Beyond the Summits, is that it's not about being the hypest craziest production. It's about a community celebrating what they're about. So like to me that's what I'm expecting, is a bunch of us to do that. Now I'm also that someone in the chat there mentioned, I'm also really hoping that Cookser will pop off and show people and prove to people that he's still alive, even though people are forgetting about him because he's been out of the spotlight for a bit. That's really what I'm hoping. And obviously, I really want to see the new energy roster actually give it a go here, even if they're goofing around a bit. There's still money on the line. They're still going to be trying. So this is going to be a really cool glance at that. But for me, it's just, my expectations are that everyone's going to be having fun. The commentary is going to be sick, super lax. Everyone's going to build a lot more friendships with each other. To me, the coolest thing about the Rocket League community is how close it is. I say it on broadcast all the time, but it's absolutely true. It sounds cheesy, but it's true. And I think this is going to help just solidify that even more,
Yeah, Curly says he's going to be butt naked on stream. I hope so, because then he gets kicked off and then I can get brought in. So,
Yeah.
Curly, dude up. Please sabotage your own career. Thank you.
And then Lawler immediately walks on butt naked right after.
That's right. Double butt. It'll be
But
great.
they keep them on.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped.
GFF.
I've watched a couple in the past, never like in fruition. Like I've never really dived into a bunch because I just don't watch the games that they usually put on.
Yeah.
But like the vibe that it has is just, it does Rocket League so well. I mean, we've seen it in every facet of anything that's even come close. Obviously, Gold Rush, the OG with 1 and 2 was something very special that this community wasn't aware that they wanted until it finally came to be, and they realized how special it was in the moments that happened. And that was all done within James's apartment, and then obviously they ended up renting a house for the second one. But like, when you have it with a production company that's been doing it so many times, and they have it down to like a formula and a science, plus having the expertise of the guys that have showed like this is what's worked for the Rocket League community, I think you have the ability to make a really, really fun event. You see it anytime we get these guys together. Obviously, the Brawl has definitely been the most recent with the comms being able to hear what these guys are actually like in and out. But the fact that it's going to be in person only exudes that even more, and it's going to really bring out the personalities of these players, which is what we all want, right? Like, my entire goal this offseason in this past, 5-6 months has been, I love these players. I love who they are as people, but you guys don't know who they are as people, and that bugs me. So let's find a way to bring that to light. So it's been a really good time to do that, but the fact that they're going to be able to do it with an official tournament on camera with everybody, as well as the less focus, because it's always difficult when you put those things. You and I are well aware of, start the fucking game already, this and that, blah blah blah. It's guys, they're playing rock paper scissors, they're playing Mafia, they're this or that. Like, those games are going to really show personality, and I hope the pros, because the casters I'm not worried about. The casters are always going to fucking crush it on camera, right? But like, the pros are going to be the ones that it's like, stop worrying about what's on camera, what you're doing. Just be your fucking self, because we like those people. So just do it. Just go and have fun without any discretion of worry of, I'm going to get yelled at for this and that. Like, obviously be smart about it, but like, go have fun, man. Like, you have an opportunity to not only get people to cheer you on and stuff and get behind you, but also just it's a once in a lifetime opportunity unless they do another one. So fucking crush it, have fun with
That's
it.
what I'm saying. I think you nailed it with like the fact that like we know these players, we know that they're great, we know they're funny, and some of them are getting more out there, especially with the brawl too.
Yeah.
We've seen so many great clips come from the brawl. We've seen it even from their own streams here and there too. But the fact that it's going to be a Rocket League esports event, that some people that may not be on Twitch watching Rocket League streamers or and it, the brawl or their personal streams and that are going to see this now too and see the personality, and then they're going to want more of it, and then that's going to draw them to these. So as long as these players know, okay, I need to capitalize off this. I had a great time at the brawl. So many clips about me. I'm going to stream because more people are going to watch that, wanting more of those moments. So this is a great platform for those pros to get out there. And I think it takes time. I was mentioning to the hairstylist today, it's like, I never thought it, because I was just talking, about what I do in that. And I'm like, I never thought I'd get into this. When I was 18, I was still really shy and quiet. Now I won't shut up. But it's like I needed something to push me out there. And it was, for me, it was working in restaurants and bars with customers and, and sales and that. So it's like, this is a good moment for these kids. The reason a lot of them are reserved and don't get out there with that brand is that they haven't had an opportunity that kicks them in the butt to get out there and let them realize what it takes. So this is going to be a great opportunity for a lot of them. And some of them already have it, but a lot of them to get out there.
There's a lot of them that have that struggle, right? Because now that esports is a thing, you are starting to see it a little bit differently. Because when you and I grew up, the online gaming is what it is today. It just didn't persist in the sense of just instantaneous voice over IP, like the ability to just click a button and all of a sudden you're talking with your buddies, it didn't exist. So the social skills that we developed were due to going to school, interacting with friends and family and blah, blah, blah. And then having jobs where you had to interact with strangers, being in sales.
That's a big thing. Yeah.
Changes how your interpersonal communication is and how you interact. And with these kids, you're 15, yeah, you're going to school and you have some friends, but other than that, like, you talk to your relatives and that's about it. Like, you don't interact with random strangers, you don't talk to them for jobs, you don't, the empathy isn't developed. Like, there's a lot of major things social wise that these people lack, and that's why you tend to get a stigma from national audience and news and this and that about how video games have this bad connotation to it, which is stupid. It's so stupid. But now that these guys are being forced to go to events and be public facing figures and this and that, like, I always reference Garrett, Turtle, and those guys and how they've developed from when they're 15, 16 and they first joined us in season 1 to now. Life changing, like, massive differences, but it took time to develop to that. And the sooner these guys are willing to put themselves back to the original point, into those uncomfortable positions, we're only going to see them get better at it. And you're starting to see these characters that we've spent years trying to figure out. And that's why I think for a lot of esports, they should definitely invest in media training for a lot of these kids. I know they hate it, but
and you can tell that some of them have, especially for myself doing interviews with them, they have, and it's up in a lot. But you're right, like something like this is these kids are going to go in and be like, whoa, I can be relaxed on camera, but still keep a professional attitude. Well, that's going to carry over a lot. As you said, we've been through that already by working in jobs that we have to deal with people, and now being on camera, being through so many events. It took a while to even learn that myself, to loosen up on camera. But this is going to help them now translate that to the stage. So this is going to be a big moment for those pros. I really think.
Yeah, it's definitely a learning experience, and they'll get there, right? Like, it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but it's more of a mental thing, I think, than anything. Just understanding that it will not come initially. It will take time. And you're only going to get better at it the more you do it. And you see it in all the guys that have been doing it consistently, how much better they are. Like, even the player spotlight thing we did with Scrub and Justin. Easily one of my favorite produced content we've ever had. Because you saw them as them, right? Like, that is Scrub and that is Justin to a T. Justin's a fucking goof. Scrub, little savage at times, but he's also normally in public light very reserved, kept himself very professional, because that's how he was raised, right? But then you get him off camera and stuff, and he's this goofy, like, kind of space case at times, and it's like, where's that? That's what I want to see. But
this will help.
He's aware of how to be professional with it. So It's unfortunate what happened with Triple Trouble, but I'm glad we're getting Dignitas. I really am. I think it's gonna be great for Astral, and
Yeah, breaks them into the community too.
yeah,
On that, maybe we need a part two. I do want to apologize that it took so long
nah,
for me
man. It
to
looks
get
good.
here today to do this. This is great talks, and I actually have a lot more I want to talk about. But I do have to go to a court case in Minecraft.
It's the weirdest and most lame thing
Right.
I've ever say.
There's been
Nah,
some
man.
big crimes.
I mean, you and I could literally talk for days
Yeah.
without any issues whatsoever. But yeah, man, appreciate you taking the time. Rocket Talk has been something that I've always wanted to bring back, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we had to put it on hiatus. But hopefully not the case anymore because you came to the rescue.
Hi.
So, as tradition, we usually try to nominate people on who to be the
Okay.
next guest. So I don't know if you have one.
Yeah.
It is not a requirement, but if you do, I'd love to hear who our next guest is.
Okay. I actually have one. This is going to be different. A lot of you guys actually might not know her, but I'm actually going to.
First female.
Yeah,
Ooh.
there we go. I'm going to nominate my co-host on the esports show I do called Squad, and it's going to be Marissa Roberto. I want to get her on here. I know she's good at just spewing and venting and ranting on a lot of stuff in esports. So I feel like, you know, you guys could have some really good talks, even if it's not specific to Rocket League.
No,
Marissa Roberto.
Yeah, I love it, man. Marmar or Marissa
Marmar.
is
MRob29.
probably one of my favorite Canadians, easily. So,
Wow.
I mean, I said
I
one
guess
of.
you said one of.
Yeah, but it's Rocket Talk has been something too that like it's always been Rocket League focused people, but the nice thing is being able to talk to Marissa, I think is going to lead to other things rather than just like Rocket League focus. Like there's a lot of things that I can think of that I want to talk to her off the top of my head. Like I know nothing about how she got into the esports industry or anything. Like I know she does like Xbox stuff, but like being able to talk about that as well as bringing a unique focus. And I hate to play the gender role as always, but like I know it's totally different from her perspective as it is compared to ours. So I think it'll be interesting to hear that. And I know for a lot of females that are wary of joining esports and stuff because it is a male dominated scene, it'll be interesting to hear and pick her brain apart. So maybe we'll have you crash that for fun or something. We'll see what we can do for part 2.
Fun. Yeah. No, yeah, let me know whenever. If anybody doesn't have a nominee, tell them to nominate me. I'm always here to talk to my BB Lawler.
Always a pleasure, man. Appreciate you stopping by. Good luck with your court case. I got to go install Minecraft and GTA 5 and get ready for D&D.
Good luck with that, and I'll see you in some Minecraft.
Sounds good, buddy. Catch you later, bud. Thanks for talking as always. Later.